Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Hi, and welcome to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the CVABC, Central Virginia Business Coalition. We have a great show today. It's going to be a sweet show, a sweet show. And
there goes the intro again.
There goes the intro.
That's how good it is.
It was so good, we had to do it twice. So we're missing Heather. Are we missing Heather today? We don't have to share as many treats today. So I don't think we're really missing her today, but we wish her well. She did a great job, her and Autumn and all the volunteers helping with the parades in Bedford and Lynchburg and the tree lighting. And it seems like everything went pretty smoothly with all of those. So, thank you to them for that. They are on a well-deserved vacation, and they are headed off to the land of the mouse.
Vacation without me, though. So.
Yeah, they left all of us here. We're all a little salty about that today. It's a good thing we have a sweet show. So also want to let you know, if you're listening and you work with a business or you own a business in the Central Virginia area, there's a coffee talk Friday the 15th at Amazement Square. And you'll be able to see a lot of our sponsors are going to have tables set up. Visiting Angels is one of those. So we'll have a table set up and, come on out for that. It's going to be from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And you're like, man, 2 hours. I can't give up 2 hours of my day. If you could just come from 8 to 9, you can come and network some, hand out some business cards, make some connections, and get that co-opetition working. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And speaking of co-opetition, we have dueling bakers today. So we have Sweet Nannie's, which is, no offense, Ashley, but my favorite baker because she's my wife.
No offense taken.
And we also have Sweet Indulgence. And then we have the Sweet Woody Watts as well. So you didn't know that was coming today, did you?
I didn't know that.
So, and he's got the Star Wars Christmas sweater today.
And my Bigfoot socks.
Last week, you've got what socks?
My Bigfoot socks.
Bigfoot socks. Yeah. Nice.
Woody, you're a Star Wars fan?
Oh, anything to nerd them.
I'll have to when we're done here today, I will show you a photo of a Death Star cake that I just did.
Oh, my God. It's nice.
It was so much fun to do.
Yes. The taste is with you.
It's like my favorite.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah. May the taste be with you. So, last week, Woody had the Grinch sweater, and today it's the Star Wars sweater. So I can't wait to see what's next week. So
I got plenty to work through.
Yes. So that's good. So, we're going to I'm going to start with Sweet Nannie's because this is their first time on the podcast. She's a longtime listener, first time caller. She is my secret weapon when we're asking questions and things. She texts me the whole show and like, hey, ask this. This would be a great question. So she's, if you're like, man, Mike comes up with some good questions, it's not me. So, it's all me. I'm fantastic at this. That's why my name's on the logo. Sorry, Woody. So Sheena, tell us a little bit about Sweet Nannie's and kind of the things that you make and how you got started, and tell the story.
Sure. So this summer, I decided that I wanted to sharpen my baking skills in the kitchen, and I wanted to bake one new thing a week. So I did that, and I posted it to Facebook, and that was in July. And I started getting more and more interest about the baking and what I was doing. So people asked to buy it. And then I created the treat boxes. I posted one just saying, hey, this is what we're going to have if anyone is interested. Wasn't really planning on.
Yeah, that was just this is for the picture. And somebody reached out and was like, I want that box. Can I pick it up tomorrow?
That is correct. Yeah. Yes. And I did not plan on actually selling that box. But it sold within like 5 minutes. So the next week I said, okay, you guys, I'm only going to do 5 treat boxes next week. 30 minutes later, the 5 boxes were sold out.
Yeah.
From that, I got orders for cookies that were in the box. They asked if they could have a batch of each. I'm like, oh, so this is a thing. Like people really do want to purchase the stuff. So that was July. And I have been booked every week. And I'm now booking into January.
Awesome. And you even did a wedding. You had 220 cookies, I think, that went out for a wedding.
Yes. Yeah. So. That was my very first big, huge order. And that's kind of what started the whole cookie thing, too, was she wanted cookies for a wedding. And I'm like, hey, I can do that. Yeah. So, and I think what I do well is to work within their budget and what they want to spend, and I'll make it affordable for them.
Right. And your cookies are amazing. So I eat them quite a bit. Might have had Actually, I did. I had some of your baking for breakfast this morning, didn't I?
Did, but that was sourdough bread.
That was sourdough bread.
That is
So
delicious.
my mom is famous for her sourdough bread. And
Sourdough bread.
she, so she
Woody's
has
over there grunting too.
right.
And
I should have
I'm
brought some of
hungry.
that today.
I was really hungry before y'all came in, and this is just kind
We got you covered.
Come look at these boxes. We got some stuff
We
over
got
here.
you covered.
And it's some good stuff. There's
Y'all are
some
the
eggnog
best.
cake, all sorts of stuff. So
Oh,
yeah, it's
I'm
but
so excited.
the so my mom has made this bread for like 40 years. So this a 40-year-old starter. It's the same original starter that she started with 30, 40 years, whatever. We're gonna make it up. We're gonna say 40 today. She lost it during a power outage, but she had shared it with my sister, and my sister didn't lose power. So like it is the original one all the way through.
Wow.
Thank goodness there were two. And 3 weeks ago, you were like, I think I want to try the sourdough bread. And it was a little trial and error. The first one was a little rough. Dylan ate all of it, but that's our 20-year-old.
Between him and Chris.
Between our 20 and 25-year-old, none of the bread was wasted. And she made some this morning. She brought it to me and she goes, "Do you want it with butter or butter and jam?" I'm like, "Butter and jam." Like, why would you just do butter when there's another option? And I ate that and I was like, it was good, but like I couldn't really like taste, like I couldn't Paul Holiday it and be like, oh, this crust is good and the bread's nice and the right consistency.
You had to have a second roll
So I had to get a second one and put just a little bit of butter on it, and it was really good.
I
So
love sourdough so much. It's my favorite. But see, I struggle to keep dead things alive. Like I killed a succulent. Okay,
Right.
That's how bad I am at keeping things alive. So the idea of keeping a starter alive terrifies me.
right.
So,
And so
job posting. If anybody knows how to do sourdough, call me.
So I used to be a florist. I've talked about that a few times, and plants are kind of my specialty. I love plants. I have plants in my office that I got like the same year that we opened our office, and they're still thriving. So that's good. But succulents, I kill them every time, and I love them, but I can't keep them alive. So I just got to buy the little fake ones and pretend.
I bought ones like, oh, you don't have to water it. You don't really have to. You have to water it very little. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe I can keep this alive, but I still forget to water it.
Right. Or you water it, and then you're like, oh, I need to compensate and water it too much, and then it goes out.
Yeah.
So,
Someone told me like when you do water it, you like dunk it, and so that's what I was doing, and it just still then I dropped it. So I gave up. I don't keep things alive. I bake.
Yep.
I bake.
So we've got the sourdough bread, and you started with the cookies. Tell us a little bit more about kind of your journey there.
Well, I signed up for my first vendor event, and that was in November the 11th.
And that was second stage?
And that was at Second Stage in Amherst. Yes. We had a great turnout. It blew me away. The amount of support that came from that. I met a fellow baker who used to own a bakery, and he's
a repeat customer over and over again.
Yeah. So he said that I was the only one that made the cinnamon, the coffee cake muffins like he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he hadn't tasted any like that since he made them. And he came to my table 3 or 4 times that day. And then a week later, he placed a huge order. And then I had another vendor event at the same place, December the 2nd. And he came because I was there. So he wants to be on a list to get notified of where I'm going to be each time. So I thought that was nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Sweet Nannies. Of course, they always say, don't ask a question you don't know the answer to. I know the answer to all these questions today. Tell us where the name and the inspiration kind of came from.
Sure. So we lost my nanny in 2020, and she had a huge role in helping raise me, between her and my mom, of course. And I wanted to do something to honor her and carry on her legacy. So my whole thing was I was going to open a boutique for tall girls and petite girls because it's hard to find long pants and short pants and for any short.
Right. I shop in the kids section, and she shops in the tall section. So it's hard.
So I very quickly understood that the only way I was going to do that was if I won the lottery, because it was expensive, and because I don't play the lottery, the odds of that happening was slim to none.
Yeah.
So when this baking thing started, I thought that was a good way to honor her. So then we just named it Sweet Nannies.
And she loved her sweets and cookies and all
She
sorts of
loved
things like
cooking.
that. She loved cooking
She loved to make a big old spread and have it on the table.
with that banana pudding straight out the oven.
And with the meringue, not the Cool Whip.
That's right.
It had to have the meringue.
That's the only banana pudding I'll eat is the one with meringue.
Can't do it halfway.
Like this Cool Whip crap.
Right.
It's
Right.
disgusting.
Yes.
Right. It had to have the meringue. And she also did yeast rolls. And she didn't do a lot of cookies, but food for her was a way to bring people together.
Right.
And no matter what walk of life you're in, everybody needs food. So you can just come around the table and coexist and be there together and enjoy that.
Yeah. And we'll get a picture of your business card because I love it because the back of it is Nannie just, I don't know what happened. I don't know what story was being told, but it's just her caught in like mid laugh.
My cousin Morgan snapped that picture while they were out having lunch. So
Yeah. And it's just, it captures her whole personality and everything in the picture.
Right.
And tell us about Breakfast with Nannie.
Breakfast with Nannie.
Breakfast with the lady that has breakfast with Nannie every day.
Oh.
I love the story. So we just,
So at my very first vendor event, of course, you hand out your business cards. And I had one of my customers that came up. She purchased some items. She actually purchased a brownie bite kit for her grandchildren that were coming over that afternoon. So they got to play with their food and make it pretty before they ate it. And she took one of my business cards and she came up to me last Saturday and she said, I just want to let you know that I have breakfast with your nanny every morning.
Oh,
I'm like, what do you mean? You know, it kind of took me back. And she said, I keep your business card on my kitchen table. So every morning I sit down and I have breakfast with your nanny. So even now, Nanny's still bringing people together over food. So I just think that was amazing.
right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to switch gears for a second.
Okay.
We're going to go from Sweet Nannies to Sweet Indulgence. And we've probably talked about this before because you've been on the podcast quite a few times. Heather was out today, so I got to pick the guests. So I was like, I'm going to go with people that I'm familiar with, and so that I don't get caught off guard. And I'm also going to invite people that will bring food. That may have been secondary, but it was important. Tell us about like how you got started and how Sweet Indulgence came to be and some of the influences behind that.
So Sweet Indulgence started in 2008 in Guam. We weren't even in the United States.
Okay. So I learned something new today. So we're getting some new stories.
We've been kind of all over the world. My ex-husband was military. And so wherever he was, the bakery went. And so every 3 to 4 years, we moved it, we relicensed it, we rebuilt the customer base. So I got really good at generating that customer base.
Right.
Within, 6 months to a year.
No pun intended, but from starting from scratch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Starting from scratch every.
I got Woody with that one.
You got me. I know.
We need a drum roll.
Yes.
And I started it because everyone who has listened to me knows that my prior marriage was an abusive marriage.
Right.
And so it was very controlling. I was not allowed to work outside the home. I was expected to be barefoot in the kitchen. So I had children, but I did not find that fulfilling. And I loved to bake. Like you, my grandma raised me, and she's a very important woman in my life, very integral in who I am today. And so I learned to bake at her table. And she was just kind of my rock. And even when I lived in Guam, I called her every day, every single day, and I spoke to her. And so baking, I think at the time, not realizing it, was my way of staying sane through what I was going through.
It was your therapy.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
And I loved sharing it because I used grandma's recipes.
Right.
And I loved sharing it because grandma loved to bake and she loved to cook. And for the same reason, food brought people together and it brought our family together. I grew up with my cousins. I didn't even know my best friend was my cousin until 6th grade. So, I grew up with my cousins. Our family was very, very close.
Yeah.
And so, but always gathered around grandma's table.
Right.
And so we are, that's kind of how it started. And we actually started as, if I can remember, I think it was called Sweet Temptations.
Okay.
But then when we moved back to the States, we moved to Maryland and there was a company there already called Sweet Temptations.
Right.
And so I put it up for customer vote and I gave it to my customer base. I said, what do y'all want to call us?
Right.
And so Sweet Indulgence is actually customer chosen. And same with our tagline too, the Eat, Enjoy, Indulge. And so, which is kind of, it speaks towards our mission. We're very customer focused. We're very community focused in terms of what we do and all the outreach that we work on and do.
Awesome.
That's kind of how we started there. But grandma's a huge part of.
Yeah. And you have your grandma's table in your
Yes.
in your
our
space
bakery.
now. Yeah, in your bakery.
Yep.
And I remember when we did your ribbon cutting, I was there and tasted the heavenly Pop-Tarts that I put an order in for this week. We'll get into that co-opetition in a minute, but I love that you could tell the emotion behind that. You were so happy that you have grandma's table, so you have that piece of her. So
Yes.
that constant reminder of like, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And so when the days are hard, you can kind of grandma's table's here, like this is why we're doing this, like all that, and the influence.
When the
that's
days
there.
are hard, I cannot tell you, especially after Grandpa passed, because he passed in 2020.
Yeah.
After Grandpa passed, I sat at that table every morning when I come in, and I ate breakfast because I ate breakfast with my grandpa.
Right. Just like the lady eats breakfast with Nannie every morning.
Yep.
It's breakfast with grandpa and kind of help you get started with
And
it.
grandma's on hospice now, and so she's getting ready to go home and
Sorry,
just processing that grief. I've spent a lot of time at that table lately.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, well, I know that your grandpa would be proud of you, and I know that your grandmother's proud of you, and you have done amazing work, not just with the amazing look. If you start crying, I'm gonna start crying. Sheena's gonna start crying. Woody's gonna start crying, and he ugly
You don't
cries.
want me, you don't want me crying.
Week in the row.
He ugly cries. I cry all the
Is this
time
the third
now.
week?
I don't
think
know.
this will be the third week in a row that you've gotten emotional.
Maybe,
I get so
maybe,
excited to
maybe.
talk about grandma and just the person that she was and is to me, and the person that because I am where there's a lot of reasons I am where I am today, but I bake because of her.
Yeah.
And she is the motivation behind, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, behind our next venture that we're working on.
Well, we're going to talk about one of your other ventures first.
Yes.
And we're just going to take it. So we've had you on the podcast for that. So we're just going to talk about that a little bit. But I want to talk about how, so we're going to talk about co-opetition first.
I'm excited.
All right. Co-opetition. Co-opetition is when people who should be competitors work together to serve their community.
Yep.
And I know you may think like, how are they working together to make cookies for people? Like that's not bringing, that's not a big thing that, is important to the community. It is because it brings people together, and you've got people who love to give gifts that are food, but if you take somebody a Snickers, it doesn't have quite the same appeal as like homemade something or from scratch made something. So I love that Sheena, from what you were 3 weeks in, and you made Sammy snacks. And tell us what Sammy snacks are.
Sure. So the Sammy snacks are dog treats, homemade dog treats, and they are in honor of my very good friend's dog who passed away maybe about a month ago now. And every time that I sell a Sammy snack or a pack of the Sammy snacks, all the money goes back to the Humane Society.
Yeah, so they're $10 a bag, and so Sweet Nannie's just takes that cost and absorbs it, and the $10 that comes in for those Sammy snacks go to the Humane Society. So the very first event you did, you were able to raise about $120 and $30 the next one. So, that's money going to the Humane Society in honor of Sammy, which is, helping all the animals. And we love our dogs. They're like our kids.
Yes. My puppy is my baby.
Yeah. Don't tell our kids, but we like our dogs more.
Yes. They're quieter.
Yeah.
Dogs are my favorite people.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are. So, it's great that you've got that community mindset of like, I'm a brand new business, right? And I'm already thinking, how can I give back? How can I give more than just cookies to my community? And then we've got Ashley over here, who's part of Dream Forge, who is working to make, if I get something wrong, just hit me and say that's not right.
I won't hit you, but I will correct you.
Okay. So,
because we do quite a bit with different organizations. So it's easy to mix up.
Right. So, but you're working on a space to where somebody who wants to start a business or something like that can kind of rent for relatively low cost compared to some of the building rents out of there. Because let me tell you, we just did a year and a half search for office. It took us a year and a half to find an office that was affordable and had enough space. And some of the spaces in Lynchburg go up to like $35 a square foot, which is a lot.
It's insane.
Because our first office space when we started was like $9 a square foot. So that's probably, there's reasons it was only $9 a square foot. So, but you're trying to give people a good space, a safe space that has security in place and locks so they have access to their own things, and be able to give people who are victims of domestic violence or trying to get out of situations to where they can venture out on their own and they can try to start a business and become independent and give back to their community and also provide for their families.
Yeah, it's a collaborative space to heal.
Yeah.
I'm 8 years out of my situation and I am still healing. I
Right.
still go to counseling every week. I still go through something called EMDR. If you want to know what it is, Google it.
Okay.
It's just trauma is a weird thing.
It is.
And the physical scars heal, but the trauma stays. And even going through counseling, I've learned and accepted that trauma is still always there. It's a part of me, but the therapy helps me address it and helps it to be something where it's just a part of my story. It's
Right.
no longer a part of who I am.
It's a chapter. It's not the whole book.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, but as much as that part hurts, it has God is so Romans 8:28 is my life verse. God will use it all for good, and He will, and He has. And I've watched Him bring all this change to fruition from the experiences that I went through.
Right.
He took it and he's made something amazing with it. And working with Samantha's wonderful. I love working with Samantha.
Yeah, she's so low energy though.
Yeah, sure.
I hope Samantha's listening because she is, if anything, she is high energy. So,
Which is so good because I'm tired.
right, and
But
so
she's got this incredible business mind, and I've got the creative side, and she's got the heart and passion too. But she understands numbers. Numbers are Chinese to me,
Right.
or Mandarin if you want to get technical. I don't speak numbers. And her team are phenomenal.
they are.
And they're just such great people. I'm so excited to be in business with somebody with that.
They are. And the thing that I love about Samantha is, because we're both her clients. Sheena's not yet because she's not there yet. But Samantha did help.
Life changing.
Samantha did help Sheena get her LLC and pretty much walked you through, now do this and this and this, and made sure that you had everything right.
Made sure I had clicked all the right things.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so I love that, even in her business where, she's like, hey, I can help you. You're not ready to be my client yet, but I'm going to nurture and help you grow so that when you're ready, you know who to come to.
And that's who Samantha is. That is the epitome of, she has such a heart to help. And I'm actually super excited to learn so much more about Sweet Nannies, just because I love your heart for the community that, like Mike said, is already apparent. You're still in your first year of business.
First 4 months.
I don't math, remember?
Yes.
So, and you're already giving back. And those are the kind of businesses that I want to be known with and and work with and partner with, because they align with what we do. Because at the end of the day, it's not about my bottom line. It's about what can I do better? How can I make their life better? Because we don't want people to, everybody's going to have the hard things they go through, and we don't want people to do that. But if we can invite them to our nanny or our grandma's table and say, this might not fix the problem, but for a minute or two, it'll bring you some joy and it'll bring you some comfort.
Right.
Come on in.
Right. Exactly. So, all right. So we've talked about community giving and co-opetition. So let's talk about co-opetition for a second. Mm-hmm. I'm sure some people are like, why would you have two bakers that are competition on the same show? So just an excuse to talk about co-opetition. So
this is one of my favorite words. And you've seen me. I use it on social media.
Chris Morris, I'm pretty sure he is the hashtag for co-opetition.
Probably.
Because I still have to sound it out and spell it out because my phone won't correct to it. It tries to fix it. So, but yeah, I said this at I don't even remember what it was that I said it at, but it was at some event and it was talking about co-opetition.
It was my ribbon cutting.
I think it was. Mm-hmm. I think it was. And so Sweet Nannies and Sweet Indulgence, they make different things. So you're known for your Pop-Tarts, which I've talked about a lot, but also your cinnamon rolls and things like that, and your cakes, the giraffe cake.
We do. And those the high end. I don't like the word high end because that makes it seem like it's not attainable.
The high quality.
Yeah. We work with any budget. We do sheet cakes. We do Death Star cakes. We do crazy cakes, but we do simple cakes too. But yeah, it's that quality cake that you can't find at Walmart.
Right, and that custom giraffe or Death Star or whatever it may be.
The out of the box cakes are my favorite.
Yeah. So and then Sweet Nannies, your menu grows every day. I think I walk in and Sheena's always like, here, taste this, and I'm like, I don't like birthday cake, anything like cookies, whatever.
But try this cookie,
and I cannot stand peppermint. Just if
I don't either.
Right. So she made some peppermint cookies. I tried them. They were good.
Okay.
I don't like them.
Yes.
But they're good.
Yeah, I get that. I will try anything once, and I may not like it, but I will admit that it's good.
Right. So both of you are kind of known for different things. You a little more than Sheena because Sheena's newer at it. But but what I love is that you're both willing to talk today. You're both excited. Your stories are very similar, and like your inspiration is very similar, and your passion for the community is also very similar. So I love that. And then so there's also Frosted Ridge, who has really good stuff.
Lindsay.
I went to her ribbon cutting too. Thank you, because I'm terrible with names, and I would have gotten it. I would have
Lindsay
called her.
is a good friend of mine, and she has a heart for the Lord and a heart for this community. And quick shout out to her. She's doing a Santa cookie event,
I
which
saw that.
we're going. I bought tickets. I'm so excited because my daughter's dairy free. She's allergic to dairy. So
Right.
she's not intolerant. She's allergic. She cannot have it. It makes her very sick. And so I'm excited because she does dairy free, gluten free, nut free. And I even emailed her and I was like, hey, just making sure that she's having dairy free cocoa, dairy free cookies. She's got the nut free and gluten free. So people who, like my daughter, who can't go to events like mine, who have all of the dairy free and gluten free stuff, or dairy and gluten, it's that I love working with Lindsay, and I send people to her all the time.
Yeah. And I love the fact that there was the Forest Farmers Market that you're at throughout the year. The last one is this Saturday. I'll be picking up my order on Saturday. Here comes the train. So, it's a quiet one today. We got lucky.
I'll see. You
So-
said something, so now it's going to know.
I did. Here comes, I could feel the second train about half a mile away. But like you were like, hey, I can't believe like something happened. Your boots got wet or something.
Yeah, it was so darn cold. It was that week where the storm or something, like the tropical storm was coming through, and we ended up going. And I jokingly had said, hey, we're here. Come support us, and also bring me coffee and boots. And she did.
And she showed up with coffee and boots. And how she even got the right size. Like, I'm impressed with that she brought something that fit. But
I know, because I have a giant foot.
Right. So, but another business brought something out. She had nothing to gain from that. Like, I mean, obviously you could, there's always, a way to push, like on Facebook, oh, they helped me out and all that stuff. But that wasn't her motivation. She was like, oh, my friend needs help. And I can help. Let me go do it. And I love that. And
it's about community, being there for one another. I don't know if you've heard me say it or not. I tell other bakeries and other people in general all the time, Lynchburg is a big place. And yes, I'm a bakery. You have a bakery. But I can't do all of Lynchburg.
Right.
You can't do all of Lynchburg. We need to work together. And by working together, we both succeed.
Right.
There are strengths that she has that I don't have, and vice versa. And same with Lindsay. And, and outside the business world, when a need is there, we're able to help. And Lindsay, a few weeks ago, her father passed away, and she needed our help with something. No questions asked.
We jump in and do it.
And helped. And and we were happy to be able to help her so that she could go say goodbye to her dad.
Right.
That kind of stuff is important. And I think
because I think a lot of times people forget that business owners, it's kind of like when you have teachers in school and then you see them in the store and you're like, what are you doing here? Like, they're people outside of their jobs. And,
they forget we're people and that we have emotions and needs and feelings. And
And so, but it's great that, everybody can support everybody. And to quote Sabrina, from the Amherst Chamber, she says, you don't gatekeep success. Like you're cheering Sheena on, she's cheering you on. Like everybody just like wants to see everyone succeed. And that's what I love. And I think you get a lot of that, not just in Central Virginia, but especially in the Central Virginia Business Coalition. I think you get a lot of that attitude of, I tell Sheena all the time, like sometimes I feel like I don't do as much as what I should because I love to see others succeed so much that sometimes I root for them more than I root for myself.
My husband tells me that I am my own worst enemy.
Right.
Because I'll do the same. But here's the thing. There are things that Sheena's going to be able to do that I can't do because of our operation and our scale.
Like sourdough bread.
Right. And I can't do, honestly, we're not able to do, I don't know what your smallest batch of stuff is, but we don't really do those 4 count or 5 count or 6 count things. Okay. You don't either. So, but there are some bakeries that can and do, and I can't. I have commercial equipment and commercial sized batches, which are still small. We're not working in like little Keebler.
You don't have to get 100
in the kitchen, but it's
Sheena has elves in her kitchen, but that's just me.
Can you share them, please?
That's just me. So I don't help her bake.
I don't think it was just him.
So, I can bake. I'm just short. I'm like the elf. So
I have a phenomenal staff, but we do have the order minimums because, and some people can't do that or can't do that. And so that's where it's important too. And there's things that I can do because I have a huge commercial. Well, I have a commercial space. No, it's not huge, but I have
it's huge compared to our kitchen.
To a little Double Oven.
Exactly. So man, I don't miss working out. I do when I don't, I like leaving my house every day.
Right.
But I don't miss my little home oven and my little KitchenAid. I love my KitchenAid. I still use her, but I also really love my 20-quart mixer.
Yeah.
I got a new KitchenAid, and I've named her Joanna because it's the Joanna Gaines.
That's cute. I love that.
It had to be the matte green.
And it had to be the matte green.
It had to be the one that tipped. It had to have an extra bowl.
Yeah.
It had to have a little mat so she
Isn't
could
that
slide it out.
life-changing though? Like that's
Well, it is, but I did get a KitchenAid when we first got married, and my mom got it for us for Christmas. And that thing has been around for 15 years, and it started making noise. And I looked at Mike. I'm like, it's not. If this keeps up, it's not going to be long before I'm going to need another one. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Yep.
So
we just completely refurbished my KitchenAid. She's 13 years old. She was the first mixer in the entire bakery, so I'm sentimentally attached to her, and I will not get rid of her. So we bought a whole new motor, all new gears, all new.
Exciting.
We did a whole refurb on her, and now she works great. She's still really loud though.
Yeah.
I would just put flowers in mine, just set it as a decoration. I wouldn't get rid of her, but she would just be a prop.
Yes.
So
It's just fun.
It is.
It is. So so I'll talk about Sheena for a second. We're bouncing back and forth. So one of the things I like about Sheena is so she has a corporate client that is one of my favorites because it's me. And what we're doing for our caregivers, because employee retention is important in business and in our industry, turnover is incredibly hard to manage. And we have done a fantastic job up to this point. Our turnover numbers are very low and things like that. But we, one of the things we're doing in 2024 is everybody gets fresh made cookies for their birthday, both clients and caregivers. So, but what we're doing is because we have to meet those minimums is at the beginning of the month. I give her a list. This is everybody's birthday. We bake it to them and we take it. Some are going to get theirs early. Some may get it a day or two late. But around the birthday, they get a little treat box, but we're able to split it up into smaller things because we're doing the minimum order. So, and I got the list for January and February today. And January is not very big, but February, look out. So,
Cannot bake anything until the second week of January.
Well, guess what? We're gonna have to make an exception. No, I'll call. I know the manager. I'll call him. But I like that Sheena. She's very creative at finding ways to make her minimums work for people, and things like that. And she has a very experienced delivery person that takes a lot of her cookies and banana bread and zucchini bread and all these other things, yeast rolls.
Experienced delivery person.
I am, because I was a florist and I delivered flowers. Now it's just cookies. I just can't eat the cookies on the way. So sometimes if they're my favorites, they have to go in the trunk so that they show up safely. But no, it's she always works to try to make sure that it's easy for the person and things like that. And it's great to see. And Roz, our mail lady at our old office that we've known for quite a few years, I think I was just taking cookies to the office for a while because she was ordering birthday gifts for people and things like that. And one of the things I love about Sheena too, and I don't know if you do this, and if you don't, I'm not slamming on you. I'm just saying this is something Sheena does.
We're all different.
For every client, because she's so small and just starting out, she writes a handwritten card to every client saying, "Thank you so much for supporting my small business." She's got these cool little repeat customer sticker that she puts on the box to acknowledge that they're a return customer and thank you for your repeat business.
Those small touches go such a long way.
They do.
They really do. I used to write handmade card the handmade things. I do for my Christmas tins and stuff because I give out my Christmas. I bake for Christmas.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
But so I do that. I don't do it often anymore, but I will take the time to send an email or to, but when I was smaller, I did. And I thought it was like, oh yeah, I'll do this forever. But then when I got to a point of business where now we're dealing with 20, 30 customers a week, I found it very
You're just trying to get it out the door.
I wasn't able to maintain that. And so, but I do think of it often. It's like, man, I would love to. Now I do for my brides and grooms. I have little cards and I, write a little, because it's important to me. They've trusted me with a small part of their day, but they've invited me into an intimate part of their lives and allowed me to help them celebrate.
You'll be part of the memory of their wedding for hopefully the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
so.
as long as I do it right.
Right. And I did change it. It was like a note card in the envelope. But now they're like little business cards that have like a message on the front, and I just flip it over and just say thank you for your order.
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
But something that's manageable and, and that still means, because I know I get excited when when we work with other businesses and they take the time to send me a thank you card. I love getting those in the mail. I'm like,
So-
oh, this is so cool.
We have a vendor that I still use. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Somebody just asked me how many times can you say yeah or right in the podcast. So yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Take that. So right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There we go.
gosh, I just lost my train of thought completely. That was fantastic. So what was I saying? Oh my
Well,
gosh.
something else that we do.
Yeah.
Let me just pick
Tell me
up,
about that.
is my father-in-law, Mike's dad, has stage 4 colon cancer. So he is a regular at the Pearson Center in Lynchburg. So for my mother-in-law did a huge order for them and took them. I separated it into 2 big boxes, and she took them to 2 different break rooms, and they loved that because it was a homemade or it was a freshly baked. It wasn't something store-bought, right?
And they were individually wrapped so they could just
Right.
grab one and go. They didn't have to stand there and try and eat it.
Right.
You know, nurses have crazy schedules. They're always busy, especially over there. And
Right. And I think, and we're going to do that again for them a little bit closer to Christmas. Hopefully I didn't give that away. Sorry, Marilyn, if I blew that surprise. But so we're doing it again for them. And it's just, they give so much to their patients. It's just a very little bit that we can give back to them. So,
yes. And
You see, to you it's little, but I've learned to them it means a lot.
correct, right.
You know, because I'll do something that I feel is, and sometimes I'll second guess myself. I don't know if you do, but I'm like, man, this feels like a cop out because I bake for a living. I'm giving them baked goods as a thank you kind of thing. Like, I feel like it's a cop out, even though I'm passionately and genuinely excited to do this and doing it out of like a genuine desire to do it. And every time I underestimate myself, I always get a call or a text or a little note in the mail that says, this meant so much and this is how to pay. This was awesome. Thank you. And it's like, oh, okay. That really is.
and you've got to look at it like this too. Like, you're considered an expert in this field. So you were giving them expertly baked things as long as the timer's set.
Yes, as long as the timer.
We were talking about her timer broke, so she's had some issues there, but that's okay. But you know, giving them that something that you make your living at, like you're giving them your time and your,
Right.
which not just ingredients and things like that. A lot of people, when they think of cost of goods, things like that, they're thinking like, oh, I've got the flour and the butter and the sugar
My
and
time is worth more than my ingredients.
Right.
And my ingredients aren't cheap.
right.
That is what I tell people.
Right.
And your expertise.
Yeah. And,
So-
and we do have people that most people don't complain about the prices, but our cakes will go, why is it so expensive? Like, well, you're not paying for the cake, you're paying for my skill. I'm somebody who's got 20 years of executive pastry chef experience and cake decorating. And I've been a cake artist for 20 years. And of that 20 years, I've been a pastry chef for only 10 of them. So I've been a cake artist a whole lot longer, and I've learned a lot.
Right.
And,
And what you do with your cakes, it is art.
yeah.
It is
Yeah.
art because I can't.
I
That's
sculpt,
not-
I hand paint,
Right.
I carve. It's, I'm not just icing the cake. And no offense to the people who are just putting buttercream on cake, because that takes a skill in itself. I cannot tell you how many people I've denied a job to because they can't ice a cake. That alone is a skill. But the hand painting and the carving
Right.
and all of that, that's a whole different set of skills.
Right.
And it's a lot.
So the price reflects. I mean, you're not going to pay $20 for a beautiful piece of art and put it up on your wall, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just the way it is with the cake. You're going to pay because it is art, and
Yeah.
especially if you're asking for a giraffe cake, Heather, it's going to be
Yeah.
Right.
mean,
and
it's
especially
gonna
if it's not
reflect.
something that just anybody can do.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
the reason doctors make so much is because they go to school for so long and learn all the things
Yeah.
to do they can do the
Yeah.
surgery. Like, you wouldn't want me going in there and be like, well, I can charge you $20. I can take that appendix right on out. You don't
I'll
want
keep
that
it.
surgery. So I got Woody again. He's over there laughing. So
$20 is a good deal.
$20 is a good deal. I'm just saying.
And it's just we, like, you work with every budget in your minimums. We try to work with every budget too, but that's the thing, we are not the cheapest bakery in Lynchburg. We are one of the more expensive ones. And I made my peace with that a few years ago, and I'm okay with that. Because there are bakeries that can fit where you can go get a cake for $20 or $30 or $40
Right.
that are great cakes.
Right.
But you're not able to come to us. I think our cheapest cake is $65.
Right.
And it's a pretty basic, what I call grab and go cakes.
Yeah.
It's got borders and a message on it and some minimal buttercream work. We're not cheap. But like when it comes to weddings, we are one of the only bakeries in the industry or in the area that will offer them. I'm not going to say the alternatives because we're the only bakery that does that.
Right.
So, but we offer them certain alternatives that help them keep in their budget and still feed their giant weddings.
Right.
And so, I'm that secret. Once I learned very quickly that we were the only bakery to offer that option, I'm like, okay, lips sealed on that one.
Right.
So that's a secret. But if you're in the industry, it's not hard to figure out what it is.
Right. So, so we talked about the Pearson cookies. We talked about, tell us what you brought in our box today. And I'm going to go with Sheena first.
Okay.
And she just got an overwhelmed look over.
Thing. I'm excited.
But so we're having a Christmas party this weekend. So she's got kind of a selection of all that stuff. So,
okay. So we have double chocolate peppermint cookies. We have your basic chocolate chip.
That's my favorite, by the way.
We have caramel crunch cookies that are caramel bits, toffee bits, and pecans.
Ooh.
And I have birthday cake cookies.
I do not like anything birthday cake.
Yeah.
Right. But those are good cookies.
Our birthday cake cookies are by far one of our most popular cookies.
So I won't tell you what my popular cookie is because I hate making it. I do. I don't like making it.
It's a pumpkin spice cookie with a brown butter glaze.
Yeah, it's a pumpkin oatmeal cookie.
Pumpkin oatmeal.
Yes, I've heard Samantha talk about these, and I want one of these.
Yeah, I want 4 boxes of them.
Steven ordered a whole a double batch or something.
Yeah,
Woody, if you want to order them, it's a premium because I do not like making them.
It's a good idea.
I have items.
Add that premium tag on.
Premium.
That's right.
Isn't it crazy how like the items we hate the most, like hate making the most, are always the most popular without fail.
Right.
I hate making
it's
Pop-Tarts.
because I don't like anything that has to. So once it's cooling, you put the glaze on it, but then you have to wait for the glaze to dry before you put them in the bags. And then that's just a whole nother,
it's an extra
there's more
step.
time. And it's
the same thing with the Pop-Tarts for the same reason. I have to cut them, fill them, bake them, ice them, let them set before I can do, and it's just this whole, it's a 2-day process.
Right.
Pop-Tarts.
Right. And then somebody orders 20 of them.
That's okay.
Allegedly.
That's when I tell my staff to do it. No,
That's
to do
right.
it.
That's right. And then I have eggnog mini cakes and then a banana bread with a coffee cake topping.
Ooh.
And one of my friends, Jessie, she actually runs Second Stage in Amherst. She had one Saturday and then came back and bought 4 more. She goes, I'm going to need those for breakfast. she bought more.
Mike, you live there, so you don't need any of that.
No.
Woody and I can toss and we can divide
So,
it.
all right. So I want you to taste one of her cookies.
But hold on. I brought 2 of everything so you and Woody could take 1 of everything.
Yay!
Oh, that's so
Thank
nice.
you. I'm
So-
legit excited.
So which one would you like to taste on the podcast?
We're gonna that caramel crunch cookie.
Sheena's a little nervous about this, to be honest. So
Oh no, I'm so.
I'm gonna out her a little bit. She's like,
Oh,
"Oh, I'm scared."
I
for her
bet.
taste."
Oh,
So
no.
That's a lot of pressure.
Which
Now-
one do you want to
No.
taste?
Peppermint chocolate.
I believe that all cookies should be kind of chewy and
Yes.
not like hard.
Yeah.
That one is the exception because the caramel kind of sets up
Yep.
a little bit,
Oh my.
but
so
Oh my
excited.
god.
it's good. Look, she is like she's almost shaking and she's like breaking this thing apart as quickly as she can to take a bite.
It's so good.
We got a happy face. We got a happy face. Woody, I want you to
That is
chew
very
into the microphone as closely as you can. I got him again. There you go.
This is so reminiscent of like a caramel apple. So we have a caramel apple cookie. It's kind of like this, and we add shredded apple to it, and it's just oh, this is so good. I
That's
want all.
delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
You shouldn't be scared at all. That is fantastic.
Yeah, that is amazing.
One of my friends told me that cookie tasted like fall,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's the cinnamon that
Yes.
comes out.
This is like my favorite combination, though. Peppermint chocolate. Like, I mean, that's hard to find, too.
The double chocolate
Yeah,
peppermint.
yes, those two, because I love those two, but usually it's like in white chocolate or something like that.
Right. Well, I did have white chocolate peppermint, but those got given away at Mike's office to
Nope, it's right
another
here.
facility.
Yeah. I had somebody walk in my office and they brought me cookies from a franchise business that sells cookies. There's nothing wrong with
They're
those
not
cookies,
very
but they are
humble.
sweet. They're not very humble, and
They're
that's
also too sweet.
that's the way the cookie goes.
Very
So,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Oh, it's funny that you would bring these because like my wife has a bakery business and makes cookies all the time, and so like this is nice and different. My staff all love this." Like, and was telling about that, and she goes, "Well, could she make me 120 cookies?" And I was like, "By tomorrow? Like, what are you asking?" And she goes, "Well, I went to Humble." I won't call them out on
Humble
because they're
Bumble
also
cookies.
a CVABC member. But she said, I went there and I called him and I said, I need 120 cookies. Can you get them to me by tomorrow? And I was like, she would need more lead time than that, but she could probably do it. And then it just so happened that we were coming here. So Sheena came to my office and walked in and introduced him, gave him the card, all that. And so she's going to try and use us. And
That's all.
she wants to try to use some different companies too, so that it's not like, hey, I need cookies. And then you're like, you're tired of hearing me.
Yeah.
Tired of hearing from me. But yeah, so it was kind of an accidental connection there that
That's awesome.
worked out good. But yeah, and it was all because she brought cookies and I was like, oh, these are great. Like my wife also has a bakery and she, oh, well, I would use her too. Like, oh, I didn't even think like
That's
that wasn't.
what I've learned. I keep sending stuff to work with my husband, but I think I'm going the wrong route there. His shop enjoys it, but he works at OU, so it's a whole different process there.
Right.
But we're trying to do the same too because we cater events. That's what we do.
Right.
We are, for 3 years, I was an executive sous chef. And then 2 years after that, I was an executive chef at very large corporate bakeries where all we did was catering. And we produced hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces for one order. And so like I don't know if you saw the post Chris made like a couple weeks ago for Delta Star. We did a 525 piece, each pastry individually packaged, individually labeled. I mean, it was, we put the effort into making it look nice, but that's what we do.
Right.
That's kind of our niche. And
yeah.
And those big orders really help us small guys, because they could go to Humble. They could go to some other chain store, but they don't. Those chain stores, it lines pockets and serves, pays the workers. But when you come to Sheena's, she's able to help the
Humane Society.
Yes, Humane Society. Able to with me with that. My favorite meme with small business, like go to a small business, you're paying for a dance lesson. You really are paying for my daughter's softball team because my Sweet Indulgence sponsors her softball team.
Right.
And so we're not only paying for her team we're paying for her entire team. And then the company also works and pays for their jerseys in addition to the sponsorship. We pay for the equipment in addition to that. And so but without our customers and without those big orders from those big clients, we can't do those things. We can't be involved in our community.
Right.
It requires everybody to be part of it.
Right. And with having all these different businesses, so I feel like, we've talked about Crumble today. I'll just start using their name. So they're a CVABC member and that's a franchise. And so one thing that I kind of learned with doing the Visiting Angels thing, because we're a franchise office, so we own our office and we operate it, but we fall under the umbrella of Visiting Angels, and Crumble's the same way. It's a franchise. So, but they are more of a walk-in retail kind of space, just like the other cookie that you can't sleep with. And different things like that. Like there are all, and you've got like Chestnut Hill that makes amazing stuff, but they're more of a retail walk-in kind of business. And they've spent probably 50 years building their base and have built a great reputation. So, but they're all different. And, to be able to order, kind of, I won't say custom, but custom to a point, because you've got like, they can pick what they want to order and order ahead of time and get them in larger quantities and use it for those corporate things. Like that's a great thing to do, because to walk into, if every company in Lynchburg, let's say Chestnut Hill was the only option, if everybody walked into Chestnut Hill and tried to buy something all at the same, like they wouldn't be able to keep up.
Companies wouldn't have anything.
Right. So
yeah, it takes us smaller guys to help keep. Yeah. We're more than just a cog in the wheel.
Right.
And like with Sheena and I guarantee you, we offer way more flavors and can do more customization than these big chains. Nothing against the big chains. That works for some people. Some people love it. Some people like Starbucks. Some people don't.
Right.
I prefer the mom and pop shops, but it's just because I like what they can do. And some people like that personalization and that customization and are willing to pay for it. And I think when you come to people like Sheena and I, we're able to do a little bit more, even if we ever get to our retail sides, if we ever get to open that retail, because you're still a mom and pop shop.
Right.
We're still able to offer what the big guys can't. And it still helps us tremendously.
It does. And talking about retail spaces, so you think I'm going to talk about you, but I'm not. So talking about retail spaces, Sheena is currently in a contest with The Greatest Baker.
Go vote.
She was in first for a little while yesterday, but she told me I couldn't buy any more votes. So
I looked at it today. I did vote today. So
yes. So you can search Sweet Nannies, or you can search for me, Mike Norfield, on Facebook. If I get a bunch of weird friend requests today, I know where they came from. Or you can even follow Sweet Nannies on Facebook.
I'm also on Instagram.
And also on Instagram. I forget, I'm not one of the cool kids that post to Instagram. So I haven't just don't post. So if you can go on there and vote for her, that she would appreciate it, because she could win a trip to New Jersey, which is everyone's dream, and meet Buddy Velastro, the cake boss, which is like very cool. Get a spread in a magazine and get pictures taken, things like that. Maybe she'll take her cookie off with her. And she could win $10,000. And, her dream, and this is listed on the page, so I feel like I'm not giving any secrets away, but her dream would be, if she wins the 10,000, to find like a trailer or a food truck, something like that, and be able to kind of have a pop-up shop that she can take different places and set up every weekend. So that's kind of her dream right now, because this is a side, she has a regular day job that she managed to get off from today. So officially, so we're not like trying to hide anything or anything. So, but her dream is to be able to do that so that she can kind of do it more, instead of being dependent on like trying to find locations to go and different things like that, and have a little more control over it as well. So
if you voice your dream, you'll find this community will support it too.
Yeah.
We put out there too that we're looking to expand into a retail. We've had a ton of support for it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really?
It's kind of scary though.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a mission behind our storefront that we're working on. So I talked to my husband. He's like, just share what it is. I was like, fine. So am I able to share it? Okay.
You can share whatever you want.
I didn't want to steal your show.
No.
Our storefront is based on Grandma's as well. And so with Grandma's table that we have, we are putting it, it won't be in the bakery, because obviously Grandma's table is a sentimental piece.
Right. And you don't want it to just get general wear and tear and something happen to it. Yeah.
Right. But we are having a photo of all the kids that were around Grandma's table blown up and put on the wall with Grandma's story, with the table story. And then, Mike, I've already talked to you about commissioning a piece with a poem that I wrote.
Yep.
Put it on there in the bakery there, that kind of just talks about, the poem is just, my grandma has Alzheimer's. And so as she's forgetting things, it's just talking about remembering her and remembering for her. And so this bakery is really in honor of my grandma. So I'm going to keep the name a little hush, but
yeah. And it's a lasting legacy.
It is.
Like, and I love that, I love that you have her table, and that this has kind of become
my family legit
from the very
fought
beginning.
over this table. This is how important this
I'm glad you won.
Yeah.
I'm glad you won. So, but yeah, because I remember, again, going to your ribbon cutting, and it was there, and you told the story behind it. And it's like, oh gosh, like, here we go crying again. Like,
And he came straight home. He goes, let me tell you this.
Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story.
A lot of our decor pieces are from her kitchen too.
A lot of mine in my sunroom is from her. And I have a whole cabinet, like a
curio cabinet.
Like a curio cabinet. That was hers, and all of her plates, dishes, and stuff that I got from her in there. So,
and old kitchen utensil things that don't work. And I'm like, why are we keeping this? And yep. And I'm like, why are we keeping this? Like, they don't work. And she's like, because for the sentimental reason. I'm like, oh, okay. That's fine.
Nannie.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand, but okay. Yeah. I mean, I get it now, but like,
if it's Grandma's is said before anything,
it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Right.
It's staying.
And I have a whole bedroom upstairs that we call Nannie's room, and it has all of her. I inherited a bedroom suit, and it has all that up there. So it's when we were looking for a house, it had to have a space for Nannie's room. So
yeah, and
love that.
Nannie loved my drum set, so my drum set's in Nannie's room.
She did love watching you play.
She did. So it's kind of fitting, but it's also kind of funny. So, if we ever hear noise up there, we know somebody's jamming out. So
it's Nannie.
All right. So we ask every guest that comes on the podcast. So I'm going to ask the first question to both of you, and we're going to compare, and then we're going to talk about the second question.
Okay.
And you're looking at me like you don't know what the questions are. You listen every week.
I know what the questions.
Okay,
I forget what the questions are, and I listen every week.
So. First question: how long have you been part of the CVABC? Sweet Indulgence?
2020. So 4 years. Going on 4 years.
Going on 4 years, and
less than a month.
And you joined during the podcast.
I did, yeah.
Because Heather was all excited and was like, "Guess who just joined?" I'm like, "Sweet Nannies," because I just got a text message saying I just joined. So yeah, and so I've been a part of it. We're gonna twist it today. So I have been part of the CVABC since December of 2019. We joined and kind of did it on a whim, like, hey, let's see what happens here. And then it was such a great experience from that first coffee talk on. I think within a month we were I was a delegate. We were a sponsor, and whatever else you can do. Like
It moved quickly.
It moved quickly, and we just kind of went all in, and it's been great for our business. So the greatest benefit for me has been the friendships and connections and co-opetition that I have met and gotten to work with. And my favorite part is getting to meet Woody and see his sweaters. No, but I really do love the podcast. Like, I'm the co-host apparently. So, gotcha again, Woody.
The name's not on there, but
The name's not on there,
he's
but
here.
I'm here.
We're
So-
working on that.
But like I enjoy the podcast because I get to learn. So, like I'm kind of in a unique position where I really get to learn about our members because we're asking them questions and talking one-on-one with them, or in a group setting like this, things like that. But like the coffee talks and the networking, even though when I leave those, my social battery is -2. I am completely brain dead and cannot do it. Ashley loves to speak at those. You can see the joy in her
So
face as she
excited.
steps forward. So they exhaust me, but they are by far I think the greatest benefit. And of course the billboards and all that stuff. So, and I'm giving too many things away, but all right. So Sheena, I'm going to put you on the spot first. What is
And you would come to me second.
No, I'm not going to let you steal her answers. So what is your favorite, what is the best thing that you have been able to utilize so far or plan to utilize with your membership for the CVABC since it's only like a month old?
Well, I'm kind of in a unique position too because I was able to meet everybody and get to know people through you and Visiting Angels.
Right.
So I feel like I've been part of the CVABC longer than my official membership.
Right.
So I think just making the connections and networking and getting to know more of what people offer. Like I already knew what Sam did, and because of her, I'm officially official, and I didn't make
Official.
I didn't make any mistakes on my LLC. So like that's already been a huge benefit.
Right.
And being on the podcast is fun, but it's completely out of my comfort zone.
Right. I won't tell you how many times I was just like motioning, like lean forward into the microphone. Don't be scared of it. It doesn't bite. They haven't bit yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's been nice, but I feel like I've been part of the CVABC way longer than I've been an official member.
So I'm going to say this: you didn't give the answer I thought you were going to give. I thought you were going to say being able to drive a Mustang convertible in the Christmas parade.
I mean, I could have done that without being a member.
No, we don't. Okay, just for the record, we don't let non-members drive the Mustang. No, but Sheena was gracious and stepped up and volunteered she actually got to drive the mayor and talk to her and found out she was really nice to talk with. Just a good person as well as like,
She's just a good person.
the mayor of Lynchburg. And funny story. So the parade is so long in Lynchburg, over 100 entries, that Sheena went through the parade, dropped the mayor back off at the stadium, and walked up to me and was like, "Hey, can I ride with you?" And I'm like, "Why are you going to ride with me? Get back in that Mustang and get behind me."
And
And
I
so she
sure enough
crashed the
did.
parade a second time.
I sure
So
did put it.
we have now
right-
learned that if we have banners on a truck or something, we can put them at the front and just cycle them back in at the end again. So
I know.
we are getting
7-hour parade.
all those
So-
banners and things like that for the CVABC that say, "Hey, we present this parade," things like that. We can now get double our money's worth
So
for that.
what you're
So
telling me is that I need to put my car in there next year with my banner on it and just do a couple laps.
Yeah.
yeah, we're not going to do a couple laps with everyone. You've got to be able to get to the front. So she had the mayor, so she was second in line.
Yeah. And I
So-
was done. We were done in like 15 minutes, but it was funny though to ride through and see everybody on the side looking at me like,
Like I saw, and she was dressed like Mrs. Claus too. I don't know if anybody saw the
So it
pictures.
was memorable too.
So it was like,
You can blame
she looks really
her.
familiar, but she lost the mayor somewhere along the way.
I also
Anyway,
lost
We
her
made her walk.
signs.
so, right. All right. So we're got just a few minutes left, but tell me what your favorite benefit or the favorite thing that has happened since
Being in the community, 100% the community, whether that's
co-opetition.
yes, whether that is business support or friend support or just seeking advice. I've met several people, especially through Patrick Henry, through the CVABC, who have helped me. For those who don't know, my eldest is special needs, and it's been a very long 4 years of fighting for the services and the support that he needs. And they have decided to do a residential program with him, which, lots of mixed emotions there. But to be able to call on people like
Right.
you, Mike, and people at Patrick Henry and say, this is what we're going through, and you understand because you're in the industry and you're in that sector, and it's okay, this is what you can expect, or you know what, I'm here for you because I've seen this every day and I can help you with it.
Yes.
Just
So
having that community.
I'm going to change my answer. So you're exactly right, because I have learned from people who are not in the same industry as me, because I am in a lot of networking groups. I was at one this morning that's fairly new that was delicious. It was at a donut shop. And so I'm in a lot of those groups because I've learned that like not one group has everybody in it. However, in the CVABC, I have met a lot of people who have guided me for different aspects of my business, like Samantha with the bookkeeping, things like that. We were her first client. I'm legally obligated to say that in our contract. So like things like that, like people that do completely different things than me. Like there's some glove suppliers and things like that, and they sell chemicals for cleaning and things like that in the CVABC. And I learned some things from him during the glove shortage of places to kind of check and try to find some. So like people who aren't necessarily in my industry, but are, you know, we all run businesses, and so many people, like I can speak for Sheena because I know, like she got into a baking business because she loved baking, not because she loved business.
Right.
Right. You didn't get into this for the math. So we talked about that earlier. So, right. So, you know, a lot of the reasons that I see businesses struggle and fail is because they are experts or they have a passion for what they provide, but rarely do people have the business acumen to do it completely on their own and the passion to follow their dream. And what the CVABC does is allows you to have your passion and to find people who can help you with your business. Oh, that's good. That's good. Who? I'm just going to say this.
It's the new commercial.
Heather who? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
She's on the ride right now. Like, just
Mike Norfield.
Well, she tried to get on the Star Wars ride. It probably broke down. So,
oh, come on.
So we had
to ride it 4 times.
We had a CVABC trip to Disney, and
good job.
So we rode. What's the name of that ride, Woody? The new one, Rise of the Resistance.
Oh my!
So we made it to the park. This is when you had to have this is right after they dropped. You had to have a reservation for it, right? Like they dropped
the virtual queue.
Yeah. So we went to the park. We headed straight to that. We got on, walked on. All right.
Right on.
Rode it. Got back in line, and we had a special like a lightning lane kind of thing, and so we had our time booked for that.
That pass is worth every money, every penny.
Yeah,
every penny.
So we had our time booked for that. And we're like, we think we can get through by the time that comes out. So we got in line. We got in line. It took us about half hour to go through. It was 45 minutes until our time. So then we got in the line and we walked on again.
And then after our reservation, we had friends walk up and they're like, we wanted to ride this with you. So we got back in line with them again. And rode
now,
it 4 times.
To be fair, we waited an hour with them in line. And we had already ridden it 3 times.
That's so funny.
All right. So we rode it 4 times before 10:30 in the morning.
Kidding me.
Yes, sir.
And then Heather went to go get on it with all her family. And as they went to get onto the little, whatever it's called, the carrier, it broke down.
It broke down.
And it didn't come back up.
We went, I'll save it for after the show.
Yeah, we'll have a Disney episode. We'll just talk. That's what we'll do next week. We'll just cancel Heather's plans and just talk about Disney. So anyway. All right. So I just want to thank everybody. So give us information on how to get in touch with Sweet Indulgence.
The main way is our website, sibakerycva.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, but it will tell you to go to our website. We do not check our social media messages.
All right. Say the website one more time because you should always say it twice.
Yes. S as in Sam. So sibakerycva.com.
Central Virginia CVA. Perfect. All right. Yeah. So I'm glad it doesn't have indulgence in it because I would never find it because I can't spell that. And
Sheena, I had to Google it for the title.
Right. That's fantastic. Siri, how do you say? How do you spell? Tell us how to get in touch with Sweet Nannies.
So I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and it's Sweet Nannies Treats. You can also email me at sweetnanniestreats@gmail.com.
And that is sweet as in the way everyone spells it. And the nanny is NANNIES.
Right.
So Sweet Nannies Treats. And
that
treats.
cookie was phenomenal, and I'm
fantastic.
Irritated it's gone already. I ate the whole thing. It's gone. This is it.
I'm saving my other half. I've eaten half, right? Which I normally have to wait till after I eat lunch. I'm saving the other half for after I eat.
Yeah, no, I have zero self-control. So if I like something, it's gone.
It's like a thing. I gotta have that sweet to end it, you know?
Good news. I know a guy. So
I want 120 of them.
Thank you.
yes, yeah, those are probably. So they are not my favorite flavor cookie, but they're the favorite one she makes
they were
because cookies should not be crunchy, but that one is the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
'cause
it wasn't crunchy, but it wasn't soft.
It's
It was
like that
this-
chewy.
Yeah, it was good.
Like when I say chewy, like you said, a caramel apple.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be here till 2:30 if we keep talking like this. So, if you're interested in more information about Visiting Angels, you can go to visitingangels.com. I don't ever get to say that, so I'm going to say it today. And if you need more information on the Central Virginia Business Coalition, starting a business, have a business, want to grow your business, check us out at cvabc.org or email Heather at heather@cvabc.org. Have a wonderful week.